As most viewers have learned, the term being put on the shelf has become a big part of the mafia in New York. When a member's shelved, they're not only stripped of membership, but basically put on the pay me no mind list. During my research, I haven't come across any members of the Sicilian mafia that have been shelved. Naturally, they prefer killing the person. But I recently came across one person, a former boss, who was shelved. And the more shocking thing is, the Coglianesi, specifically Totorina, approved it. Francesco DiCarlo became inducted into the Altafane family of the San Giuseppe-Atto region in 1961. It was the same year that he met Totorina, and throughout the years, they would spend a lot of time together. DiCarlo became the family's consigliere in the early 70s, and by 1976, he was made the boss of Altafante. Besides earning money illegally, mostly from narcotic trafficking, DiCarlo opened a successful restaurant/disco, as well as a shipping company where he began exporting grapes throughout Europe. As 1978 rolled around, he would step down from the boss position and was once again just a soldier, but one who only answered to the bosses. At the time, he was traveling more between the UK and Rome, but events that took place in the early 80s would impact his life significantly. And it was during that time that he was expelled from the mafia. The initial reason was said to be over unpaid drug money. However, DiCarlo offered a completely different reason. At the time, Sicily was a battlefield. The Coglianesi had waged war on the Palermo bosses and anyone associated to them. So DiCarlo wisely stayed in Rome, but one day he received word that the boss of Agrigento, Carmelo Coletti, wanted to meet with him. When they met, Coletti explained that he wanted him to set up Pasquale Contrera and Alfonso Coruna to be killed. But DiCarlo was very close to them, and he also did business with them. The year prior, in September 1981, Coletti had Leonardo Coruna killed in Palermo. DiCarlo would testify that he believed Coletti was envious that Contrera and Coruna were millionaires. They were both known to be major traffickers, and at the time, they owned 60% of Aruba, and were also nicknamed the Rothschilds of the Mafia. Initially, DiCarlo told Coletti that he needed to first get permission from the bosses in Altafante, but to his surprise, Coletti told him it's already been approved by them. Nonetheless, DiCarlo explained that he didn't want to set his friends up, and as a result, he was banned from the Mafia, the equivalent to being shelved, which was a rarity back then, especially since Totorina approved him getting shelved rather than just killing him. It's safe to say his former relationship with Totorina is what saved him. Following being shelved, DiCarlo moved to the UK, and he opened up a small hotel and a travel agency, and would continue to traffic drugs. But he was eventually arrested for 60 kilos of heroin that was found inside of a table that he was trying to ship. He was subsequently sentenced to 25 years, but halfway through his sentence, he began cooperating and was extradited back to Italy to testify. Another former member, Francesco Marino Manoia, had testified that DiCarlo was responsible for killing Roberto Calvi, the Vatican banker. Calvi was found hanging from a bridge in London on June 18, 1982. DiCarlo denied his involvement, but admitted that Giuseppe Pipocalo had asked him to kill Calvi, but then told him members of the Camorra had taken care of it. Supposedly, Calvi's death was ordered by Pipocalo and Licio Gelli, the founder of the P2 Masonic Lodge. Francesco DiCarlo died in Paris on April 16, 2020, from pandemic-related illness.